Hello and welcome to the Fibonacci free video for Friday, February 24th. This is David, and we'll be looking tonight at Amazon, which had a pretty dramatic reaction to earnings. And I want to look at it with respect to the Voodoo lines, right? The Voodoo lines where the fire lines, like this one here in Amazon at 31.10 and 90 cents. And the second most important of the levels, like this one down here at 29.68 and 46 cents, or sorry, 26.98 and 46 cents, and up here at 37.78 and 24 cents, which represented the all-time high back in July, right? What is typical is that when price moves away from these levels, which it often does because they can be very good support and or resistance, it tends tends to move towards the next level of importance, right? So often we'll see things move between these fire lines and tree lines, the two most important levels, and then we can use the snow lines in between to gauge progress. And of course, the move down to the fire line back here in January was not direct, right? We had a lot of bouncing either way, right? But we did come down to it, bounced, couldn't hold the snow line, and that of course sent us through the fire line that time around. And like I said, when we move away from the lines, as we do either by reflecting at them or moving through, often the first target is going to be the next line of significance, in this case that 26.98 and 46 cent Voodoo tree line, where we got a bounce, right? Right into that fire line and send it back down again. So certainly it was looking somewhat bearish heading into earnings, but we know earnings can erase anything that's going on in a trend or amplify it, right? We just don't know. And that's why we don't try and predict too much with these things on earnings. But but the reaction to Amazon's numbers was dramatic, and it sent it right back above this fire line, and that's where we closed today. Certainly not far enough away from it to be confident that we know what's going to happen next, but setting up what we need to watch to figure out, is Amazon going to hold on to today's gains and keep going, or is it going to turn back down, potentially to revisit 26.98 or even lower? Well, look, the question is going to turn on whether it can hold at 31.11 and what it does next. And let's watch that. And then we can watch, if it does move away, whether it can get above sort of 33.65 or below 29.53 and hold those. And that would suggest that it was, sort of getting to escape velocity away from that 31.11 level. And the reason I mention that escape velocity is, this is not the first time this 31.11 level has come into play. It spent a huge portion of 2020 oscillating around that level, and it is important. Sometimes it gets trapped there, sometimes it reflects there, and so we want to watch this action here to gauge what's likely to come next from this name. Now, if we drill into shorter time frames just before we wrap up, we can put in some of the less significant levels, like the skylines here, and you can see for now that's what kept the bounce above the fire line in check. Getting above there would again help the short term, but if that reflection carries below 31.11, then short term we have to put bullish aspirations on hold unless we can find support at one of these shorter time frame levels. So that's what I've got. I hope you found it useful, and I will see you at the next update.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency. It's one of the things that won me